Throughout history, many empires marched onto the Iranian plateau with immense pride. Macedonians, Romans, Mongols, and Arabs, they all had a single goal: to wipe this ancient culture off the map. But Iran possessed a cultural immune system unprecedented in world history. While other civilizations vanished into the dusty pages of history after being occupied, like the Hittites or the Babylonians, the Iranians did something far more unique. Even if they lost the war, they dissolved their conquerors from within. Just a few generations later, you would find the descendants of those brutal invaders who had seized the land with the sword, reciting Persian poetry and building palaces with Persian architecture. Iran took its revenge by Iranianizing those who came to destroy it. This was a silent but enduring victory, achieved by very few nations in history. The Western world often considers Mesopotamia as the sole cradle of civilization. However, Iran is just as ancient. Ziggurats and traces of urbanization dating back 7,000 years are an inseparable part of this land's DNA. Cities like Susa and Ecbatana were shining as centers of civilization thousands of years before Europe laid its very first stone. But the real revolution was made not with weapons, but with thought. Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism defined the world not as a simple cycle, but as an epic battlefield between good, Ahura Mazda, and evil, Ahriman. More importantly, Iranians were the first people to conceive the concept of linear time. The idea that time has a beginning and an inevitable end, meaning a doomsday, later spread across the entire world through Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The seeds of the concepts of progress and history that dwell in the mindset of modern humans today were actually sown in the Iranian steppes. In the 6th century BC, Cyrus the Great took the stage and established the first humane empire in history. When he conquered Babylon, he did not destroy temples, nor did he enslave people. On the contrary, he brought freedom of belief. He allowed the exiled Jews to return to their homeland. For this reason, some historians remember him not merely as a conqueror, but as the first human rights advocate in human history. His legacy, the Cyrus cylinder, sculpted not from stone but from thought, is still on display at the British Museum today. His successor, Darius I, expanded this foundation even further. He divided the world into provinces, namely satrapies. He established the first regular postal service and built a massive road network connecting every corner of the Persian Empire. Known as the Royal Road, this network, with its thousands of kilometers of length, was a marvel built long before the Roman road system. Although Western myths like 300 looked down on them, the Persians were a massive and pluralistic organization that united half of the world's population under a single banner at the time. With the rise of Islam in the 7th century, the Sasanian Empire collapsed. For many nations, this could have meant a loss of identity and cultural erasure. But for Iranians, this was not an end, but a transformation. The Arabs brought the religion. However, it was the Iranians who shaped the science, bureaucracy, and art of this religion. During the Abbasid Caliphate, the brains of the state were Iranian viziers and scholars. While Avicenna redefined medicine, Al-Biruni astronomy, and Al-Razi chemistry, their common language was Persian. Persian did not just survive, it turned into an artistic power by becoming the language of high culture, literature, and philosophy. During this period, Omar Khayyam questioned immortality through quatrains. Hafez translated love and intoxication into a divine tongue, and Ferdowsi wrote the Shahnameh. This epic of 50,000 verses was a manifesto of identity for Iranians. It was thought that Persian would be erased following the Arab conquest. Ferdowsi carved it into stone and resurrected an entire culture. When the Mongols came, they leveled cities, burned libraries, and diverted the course of rivers. According to some estimates, 1/3 of Iran's population perished in this invasion. Yet, that mysterious power came into play once again. Before long, the descendants of Genghis Khan replaced their nomadic tents with mosques. They began commissioning Persian poetry, adopting Islam, and viewing themselves as the guardians of Iranian culture. The Ilkhanid rulers had transformed into the heirs of the civilization they once destroyed. In the 16th century, the Safavids took the stage. By making Shia Islam the state religion, they built a distinct and powerful identity for Iran. They permanently separated the country from both the Ottoman Empire and Central Asia. Isfahan became one of the most magnificent cities in the world during this period. The saying, "Isfahan is half the world," was not born in vain. This identity established by the Safavids is the cornerstone of modern Iran's proud and lonely stance. From the 6th century BC until 1935, the world knew this land as Persia. In the West, this name evoked exotic rugs, the Arabian Nights, and the mysterious Orient. But in 1935, Reza Shah sent a radical declaration to the world. Do not call us Persia anymore, call us Iran. Iran meant the land of the Aryans. This was the cry of a modern nation whose roots lay deep in ancient history, refusing to be seen as an exotic colony. It was not a mere name change, but a declaration of identity. Today, when we say Iran, we think of political tensions, embargoes, and international crises. When we say Persia, we think of a legendary grandeur. In reality, both names tell the same story. A people who reinvent themselves in every century. A civilization that, instead of bowing to the most powerful armies and the most brutal invaders of history, absorbed them, transformed them, and ultimately painted them in its own colors. Iranian history is the greatest lesson humanity can learn about how wars lost on the battlefield can be crowned with a cultural victory. Instead of defeating their invaders, they turned them into themselves, and thus they won eternity. Perhaps real power is hidden not in the sword, but in language, poetry, and memory. So, what do you think about this ancient civilization? Let's meet in the comments.